All right, we are back on set for Nigeria Super Fans Forum. This is where we discuss everything African football. My name is Ashalolu Afemi. Today, it's going to be another wonderful ride on the show. To our fans around the world, we appreciate you so much for your support for sticking with Nigeria Super Fans Forum all this while. Today, like I told you, it's going to be a very loaded program. Kyle Dogundari, James Agberi is here. So it's going to be very awesome. I have some particular questions that I'll be throwing to Kayode today. But today, let's quickly give you a sneak peek into what we'll be looking at today. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, they will be camping in Lagos for this month's 2023 AFCON qualifier. They have a tie away to Sierra Leone. They'll be looking at the under-20 FIFA World Cup in Algeria. Sorry, Argentina. I don't know why I said Algeria. Of course, Nigeria are the only African country left in the competition. So I think Kayode will also have to react to that because he's not been impressed by the performance of the Flying Eagles. They'll be talking about the WAFU under-20 tournament ongoing in Ghana. It will be Nigeria versus Ghana in the final. So much to talk about. Then the Black Stars, the preparation for their trip away to Madagascar has also begun, and of course they will commence camping on Monday in Ghana. So much to talk about today on the show, guys. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, Femi, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi. Nice being on the Nigeria Super Fans again.
Okay, Bukayo Saka is in Nigeria, and I just asked James before we started the program. I said, don't worry, Saka will certainly come and pay you a visit at home. Okay, let's get started. Kayode, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, of course, usually it's Abuja, but since CAF has said that the Abuja National Stadium is not good enough to host CAF competition, I wouldn't know. Perhaps that would be the point behind the mind of the NFF, because it's been a while. The Super Eagles camped in Lagos, but they will be camping in Lagos for the preparation for their trip to Sierra Leone later this month.
Well, the thing there is, Femi, in years gone by, Lagos used to be the football capital of Nigeria. I still think it is, even though many of the Super Eagles games have been moved away all over the country. They've played in Calabar, played in Kaduna, played in Uyo, played in Port Harcourt. They played in Abuja the last time during the World Cup qualifiers. But all in all, there are a set of very, very vociferous fans in Lagos. Hopefully, it is usually rowdy when the Super Eagles are in town in Lagos, and that's why they move the game all over the country. It's good for Lagos fans that the team is back where they belong, and they will be using the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, which is a very small, compact arena, which has seen very many international games in recent past. And for me, I think it's going to be a good game. What else do you expect from them? Their backs are to the wall. They have to give us a good game because they know that if they do not do well on the pitch, they have the Lagos fans to contend with outside the pitch. So they just have to perform. There are no two ways about it.
Okay, James, let's talk about the Federations Cup. Of course, yesterday the two semi-final games were played, and Bendel Insurance, I do not know the motivation behind that team. Of course, they won on penalties, and of course they are in the final game. They've not tasted defeat in any competitive game this season, so they will be facing Rangers International in the final. And of course, both of them are aware that the winner of this competition has an opportunity to play in the CAF Confederations Cup. James, what do you think has been the secret for Rangers this season? For Insurance, don't forget they're also in the Super Six, which will be kicking off in Lagos this weekend.
Well, Femi, it's to me, it's very difficult to pinpoint what the secret is because they just kept going on and going on. There are some games when you think maybe they will lose this game, but at the end they just heck out
a draw.
Yes, I think what I feel has been going on for them is I think they kept a large chunk of the players who gained promotion to the NPFL. I mean, that's very key. Most of our clubs I need to understand is when you gain promotion or maybe you're going to the next season, this idea of coming with a new set of players, I mean, we all see that this thing always backfires at the end of the day. Just
Like
what
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. Sometimes when you keep the bulk of these players, the understanding is there. You still have the same set of coaches. So it goes a long way in helping. Instead of bringing new set of players who will now try to met there and you just have chaos everywhere. So for me, I think consistency, keeping the large chunk of players, that has really rubbed off on them positively. And I expect other clubs to learn from this, that you don't just change the team like that because you just gain promotion or you are pursuing something. So a good one for them, and what a way to mark a return to the elite division in Nigeria by at least winning. Even though if they ended up not winning the Super Six, at least if they get the continent by winning the Federations Cup, I mean, it's going to show that their club size who have what it takes to do very well. When they follow this pattern instead of just changing the outlook of your team.
Okay, what do you think about Rangers? What do you think about Rangers? Also, they didn't make the Super Six, but I think this presents an ample opportunity for them to also play in the Europe, in the continent. I beg your pardon. If they win this, what is your impression? Do you think the Rangers can actually nick this? Bearing in mind that there are two traditional teams in Nigeria, and the last time both of them played in the FA Cup final was in 1981. They played in 1978 and 1981. Insurance won in 1978 3-0. Then before Rangers won in 1981 2-0 or 2-1 thereabout. Do you think Rangers can nick this? I know this is their coach. What's his name now? I think he's been under pressure. I spoke with him during one of the events in Lagos. Do you think Rangers can actually maybe inflict the first defeat of the season on Insurance?
The beauty about cup games is anything can happen, and this is the final. So with the way that they've not been too impressive in the season, so what way to end the campaign with the Federations Cup and winning a ticket to the continent. So it's going to be a very tough final. Bender Insurance, you know that they will have their work cut out. They are playing against one of the traditional teams in Nigeria, Rangers International. So for me, I'm looking out for a big game, a very tough encounter. So both teams they are good enough to win the whoever wins it deserves it, because coming after playing all the rounds and getting to this stage. Like I said, Rangers is not a small team when it comes to when you talk of clubs in Nigeria. Likewise, Bender Insurance too, just like what you mentioned. When they met in the 70s and also in the 80s, so they've come a long way. So it will be very difficult to stick out my neck for a particular team. Fine, you want to give it to Bender Insurance, but like I said, this is the final, and in finals, anything can happen.
Okay. Kyle, let's get talking about the Flying Eagles now. I think they heard your criticism loud and clear. No one can convince me otherwise, because you said that you've not been inspired or convinced by their performance. But they just took out Argentina, the host 2-0, and they are in the quarterfinals now. Kyle, how would I put it now? Okay, what level at this competition would these boys reach before you will get convinced, Kyle?
Honestly speaking, it's not like I'm too difficult to please. It's just like, I said something the last time I was here. I said, probably I have a higher expectation from than they are delivering. Maybe it is not their fault. Maybe I am the one with the high standards. I do not know. But the fact still remains that maybe it is about the way they set out to play. I have seen better Flying Eagles teams than the one we have here, and without any bias or prejudice to them, they've done well so far. You guys are upbeat about their performances against the other teams. What I see is that they have muzzled these teams. Now, if they know how to run, they have the chance to run against these South Koreans. And you know the South Koreans, they are a team that if you run, they will run with you for 90 minutes and some time off.
No doubt.
I hope they can go as far as they can. I hope they go as far as they can to help to place Africa where we rightfully belong. But I still have this niggling doubt about the team, Femi. I am not.
They are the only African teams left in the competition. The Gambia lost yesterday to Uruguay.
Yeah. Even though there are 4 African teams that set out to participate, at the end of the day, everybody will bear their country's names. Yeah, you are flying Africa's flag, but you are Nigeria first and foremost. You are Tunisia, you are Gambia, and you are whatever you are.
Yeah, Senegal, yeah.
Out there. You could see that in the qualifiers, Senegal beat everybody to the title. They were very, very impressive. Now, at the World Cup proper, they were the first to go out. Gambia, for me, were the outsiders. They did impressively well. They lost out of naivety because they could have done better than they did. I think they grew overconfident or because they developed cold feet. I am not able to say. But these Flying Eagles, because Femi, the Flying Eagles are just 2 steps away from the Super Eagles. Once they leave this level, they go to the under 23 and then they become the Super Eagles. So we have to have a higher level of expectation from them than we will have from the under 17. I wasn't too bothered about the under 17 because that program at that level was they were just there for the ride. It was
developmental.
Yeah, it was developmental. But this is a bit more serious than the previous level. So for me, I hope they go all the way. I hope they win Africa's second under 20 title after Ghana in 2009. But for me, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be convinced. I don't know.
Okay. All right, James. James, let's talk about the WAFU under 20 for the girls going on in Ghana. Again, it will be Nigeria versus the Black Princesses. James, these 2 teams, they've beaten every other team, blue-black, particularly Nigeria. This weekend, tomorrow, precisely on Saturday, these 2 teams will be they'll be tackling each other. Where do you think the pendulum will swing, James?
Well, I think the Falconets, in terms of going into the final, they look like the favorite. You know, when you want to look at the way they've dismantled every opposition that they've encountered.
I like that word, dismantled.
Yeah, but they're yet to concede a goal in this tournament. But you know, one thing about the Nigeria-Ghana game is it's like biscuit. You never know where it's going to crack. It's going to be a very tough encounter. Anytime it comes to Nigeria-Ghana, be it the least teams, the Flamingos, the Princesses, you know that it's going to be battle all the way. So the Black Princesses, they are playing at home. They expect the stadium to be at least filled in a good. You expect people to turn out because it involves Nigeria. So no matter the level the 2 teams meet, you know, we are ready to take it out against each other. We don't care whether it's the senior or junior level, whether it's the female team. We always want to have that bragging right. You know, you got to stop them from qualifying for the World Cup. They stop them from qualifying
for Chan, yeah.
And we stop them from qualifying for the under 17 and also the under 20. So so you are now meeting in the under 20 level for women. You know, so it's going to be a very tough encounter. I don't see the Falconet dominating the Black Princesses because, you know, Ghana, Nigeria, I mean, it's about you throw away the aspect, pride is involved. So I want to slightly give it to the Falconets based on the fact that the way they've been, the way they've played in the tournament, you know. But like I said, it's going to be a very tough encounter, and I just pray that my country win, you know. But well, I know that it's not going to be easy, honestly. When it comes to Ghana, it's always difficult. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the Super 6, like I said, will be going down this weekend in Lagos. We do not know what to expect. We've not got the fixtures yet, but it will be going down this weekend. And that tournament is going to decide who wins the 2023 Nigeria Professional Football League season in Nigeria. We'll note the first team and the second team will be playing in the CAF Champions League for next season. Okay, let's take a trip to Ghana now, guys. During the week, on Monday precisely, Chris Hutton released his 23-man list for Ghana's upcoming 2023 AFCON qualifier. They have a very tricky tie away to Madagascar. Remember, Kadi talked about that Madagascar could be the Black Stars banana peel if care is not taken. Now, the concern in that list, I'm sure you guys have seen that list. and we have a number of absentees. But I think there is enough in the Black Stars to cover for the players who will not be there. But the most concern is that scoring goals has been the problem of this team, because taking a look at the capability of the team that Chris Hughton has set up, the strikers have scored 21 goals in 131 matches that they've played this season for their respective clubs. And of course, Naki Williams is this high scorer, 11 goals for Atletico Bilbao. Coyote, should this be some form of concern for Chris Hughton going into this game?
Honestly, for me, it shouldn't, because see, sometimes I do not set very much store by these statistics that you people roll out. The most important statistics on the day of the game. In 2002, let's go down history lane. France came to
the
highest goal scorers in 3 different leagues: the Premier League, the French League, and I think Italian Serie A.
Italian League, yeah, David.
How many goals did they score, if you remember? So for me, it's not about how many strikers you take to the World Cup or to a game. What matters is on the day, are they able to deliver? Yeah, and don't forget that a win of any color would do for them. So I don't care whether goalkeeper that will come and score a 1-0 win for them, or it's the right fullback or the left fullback. All they need is just to get the win. So it's not, we are talking about a one-off match, not a league. In a league, you may be worried that you don't have too many strikers scoring goals. But when you come to knockout competitions like this, the most important thing is who turns up on the day. Tell me, if the Black Stars turn up on the day, it will not matter who scores. The most important thing is to play a good game, get there. Even if it's a smash and grab job, do whatever it is you need to do, win ugly, according to Clement Westerhoff. He said he would prefer to play ugly and win that to play beautiful football and lose. So at this stage, all they need is do a smash and grab, get the result you need, and get out of Madagascar. And is that possible? Very, very soon. It is possible. So it's going to be difficult. Like I said the last time, the Madagascans are a tough nut to crack, especially at home. The weather condition is also a very important part, because the part of the continent where they are is very, very windy. It will take some getting used to. I hope the Black Stars settle down in time into the game and get all the points that they need and to get out of Antananarivo.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Quickly, let's point out the fact that Anton Semenyon, Mohamed Salisu, Tariq Lamte, Abdul Rahman Baba, and Kofi K, of course, they are out to injury. First, for Daniel Kray, all through the season, because they had sustained a very nasty injury. But James, let's talk about these Black Stars, the ability to score goals. Do you agree with Kyle? Remember, you and I, we've talked a lot about Naki Williams not bringing enough to the table in the Black Stars as refers to goals. Do you agree with Kyle that it shouldn't be some form of concern? Okay, particularly going into a competition like the 2023 AFCON, do you think this should be some form of worry for Chris Hughton?
I've been following the Black Stars. They are not the team that are blessed with prolific strikers. I think the last of them, in terms of world-class striker, that was Asamoah Gyan. So for me, I think the Black Stars, they, when it comes to midfield players, they're wingers. That's why I feel they are very strong. But the number 9 that is banging the goals both at home and for maybe in the club sides, they are not really that known for a top number 9 like that. So for me, I shouldn't be worried. They are almost through to the AFCON. I told you in the game against Angola, that
if they win in this game, we'll see their place. Yeah.
Yeah. So I told you that against Angola, if they can make a 4 point, the most important thing is for them not to lose, and they were able to win at home and get to draw away. So I think they should do enough with all these sports statistics in the attacking third. I think they should do enough to skill the Madagascar, or just like what I said, it's going to be a very tough encounter for Madagascar. They will give any team on the continent a good fight. Remember, they defeated the Super Eagles in the 2019 AFCON 2-0. Nobody saw that coming, So for me, the Black Stars, they just have to be careful. A draw, even if they don't win, like I always say, you're not going to if it's going to be difficult to win the game, try as much as possible not to lose it, so that you don't go into your final game all tensed up. So if they cannot win it, they should just avoid losing it. So I think they should do enough. Despite the fact that they have a poor attacking third, they should do enough to get the important result and move on from there.
Okay, Kayode, I think one good thing is the GFA is already looking ahead to the 2023 AFCON, because the communications director of the GFA, Eri Ashanti Tuam, came out to reveal that the Black Stars will be playing a friendly against the United States of America in October, as a matter of fact, October 17th. And he said there is another plan for another grade A friendly. Kayode, I do not really like comparison though, but here in Nigeria, we are still contemplating who is going to even take charge of our last AFCON qualifier against, assuming that should be Trinidad and Tobago. Sorry, what's this country that ultimately Mohamed Salisu will take charge of that game, because at that time we expect that the Pesaro contract will have run out. Now the Black Stars are already looking ahead, where we are not even sure of who's going to be the coach at the time.
Honestly, Femi, I don't know. I am beginning to suspect that you like putting me on the spot. I don't know what you expect me to say. This is not anything new. You know how we like putting the horse before the cart in this part of the world. You know how everybody will appear to go to sleep now. Then 2-3 days to the game, you see them running helter skelter. And I tell you, two things. I'm going to say this. Two things are the pain. The first is a criminal lack of organization by the administrators. The second is a lack of focus and intensity by the players at critical moments. Those two are the bane of football in Africa, especially in the leading lights, Nigeria and Ghana. Everybody expects Nigeria and Ghana to show leadership.
The one in charge. Okay.
Everybody expects Nigeria and Ghana to show leadership when it comes to international, to national team football at the senior level. We have not shown, because we seem to be like Siamese twins who are joined at the midsection together. Whatever affects Nigeria tends to play out in Ghana. Whatever affects Ghana tends to play out in Nigeria. Femi, I want you to note this today. The day Nigeria and Ghana decides that, one, they will clean up their hearts and about administration, and there will be a better organization. One. Secondly, players will be focused on football and football alone. I can tell you that either Ghana or Nigeria will begin to rule the African continent again. But as it is today, nobody reckons with Ghana and Nigeria. We are a joke to them. Fine, we have a big name on paper, but when it gets to the pitch, nobody reckons with us. That's the truth, whether you like it or not. The difference between us and the Northern African teams is the organization that they have and the focus. Why we are still within touching distance of the North Africans, I mean, you don't want to know it. It is because they do not have the kind of talent Nigeria and Ghana have. The day the South Africans, the Northern Africans begin to have the kind of talents that we have in Sub-Saharan Africa, within Ghana and Nigeria, then we will just be blown out of the surface of the heart in terms of football. So unless we do something drastically now, we may get to that point sooner than we expect. Number one, don't forget, organize, then clean up your organization. Two, let the players be focused on football and football alone. If they can do it, former boss, Ugo Boss, he said something, Femi, that was critical when we spoke, I think in 2017, I spoke with him. He said if African players, and by this he meant Nigeria, Ghana, and Cameroon, that if they can focus on football alone for 30 days without thinking about any other thing, that there's no country that will be able to touch those three. Yeah, he said if they can focus on football alone, nothing else apart from football, that they are just focused to play the game, that nobody can touch us because we have the talent. We just lack organization and we lack intensity. So is that possible? Yes. Are we on the right track? No, Femi. And that's where my pessimism comes from. It's not that I am happy to be a prophet of doom. It's not that I am happy to put my country down, that they cannot do this, they cannot do that. We have the talent to do it, but we are not just ready. This is not about patriotism. It's about being realistic. We are not just ready. we do not. You just talked about not having a coach now when we have a crucial game. Who does that? Where is that done all over the world?
But would you blame Amaju Pinnick, the NFF of Amaju Pinnick, or the current one under Gusau? Because he just came to meet everything on ground.
I think it's a sign of failure if we continue to blame Amaju Pinnick. As bad as it was, I would stop blaming him now, Femi, because whatever the kind of contract that he signed with Pesero, the new NF, they are not even new any longer. They've been in office for about a year now, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, they will be in office for
close to a year now. Yeah.
So they have had enough time to study, to evaluate the contract, know how to. If they are going to bring in another manager now, let's not just presume that they're going to bring. If they plan to bring another manager, by now they should have known the loopholes in his contract that they can exploit to bring in somebody else. But this putting everybody in limbo, the players are in limbo. Even Pesero himself doesn't know what's going to happen next, and so also the NFF. Then I blame them 100% for the problem we are in now. Not Amaju Pinnick again. Amaju Pinnick has had his day. He has had 8 years of waste, 8 years of rudderlessness, and I hold nobody any apology for saying that. He has drawn our football back like 2 decades.
Okay.
Yeah, he has. So for me, I don't want to talk about him. Let's face the current NFF and tell them to their face that they had the reason why we are still thinking about Amaju Pinnick. If they are doing the right thing, nobody will remember that forgettable 8 years that he spent.
James, very quickly, let's talk about the BEPA Premier League as we round off now. Of course, this is week 33. By next weekend, the BEPA Premier League for the season will be rounding off. Quickly, let's look at the fixtures. We have Dream versus Great Olympics. Dreams versus Great Olympics. Okay, we have King Faisal, relegation threatening King Faisal. They will be hosting Legon Cities, Accra Lions, Ashanti Kotoko. Then Berkham United will be hosting Berkham Chelsea. Then also Treman versus Edwana Stars. Edwana Stars did all of us and Arsenal this season. Kotoko Royals versus Tamale City. Out of Folk versus Real Tamale United. Kyle-Day's team, I don't even know where they're on the table. Then we have Samatex versus Medema. Medema, they look like they're running away with the title. The Karela versus the Biani Gosa. Then quickly, the CAF Champions League, of course, the first leg will be taking place this Sunday. James, very quickly, Al Ali versus Wydad, the first leg of the CAF Champions League this weekend on Sunday precisely. It's going to be very, very, very tricky and very feisty as well.
Yes, two North African teams. Nobody's surprised that the two teams will be contesting this final. They've always been dominating this competition, especially Al Ali. They're always around when it comes to the CAF Champions League, and you want to give them the edge. Because of their experience, they've won it countless times. So we want to give them the edge, but their opponents, they are no small team too, especially when two North African teams meet. That it's always battle royale. So I want to stick slightly to Al Ali because of their experience. They've been winning this competition left, right, and center. But I don't see them as outright favorites. It's going to be very, but they will be the favorite in this two-legged affair.
Okay, like you said, the North Africans dominate African club football because you have USM Oja. They'll be taking on the Young Africans in the second leg of the CAF Confederations Cup. I think this is already done and dusted, James. Like we said, two North African teams in the CAF Champions League final, then one already. They one hand on the cup already in the CAF Confederations Cup. Do you think Young Africans coming back in this one? They'll be playing in Oja. That is going to be very difficult.
Well, for me, I think they've tried Young Africans. They took out our own Rivers United, but playing against the North Africans, it's going to be a tall order for them, especially after losing the first leg. One thing about this North Africans, you must get good first leg result if you want to overcome them. Just like what BCC Lions did to Club Africa in 1990 Mandela Cup, they got a 3-0 victory at home. Then they drew 1-1 away in Tunisia. That's the best way to get over them. But if your first leg is not too convincing, you have it all to do. Anybody did it in 2003 when they defeated Ismail. They won 2-0 here. They lost 1-0 in the return leg, but they've done enough in the first leg. So for me, Young Africans, they've done well, but I think this is the final bus stop for them.
Okay, Kyle-Day, Amaju Pinnick, they said was given national honor in 2 seconds before we close the program today. Do you think it deserved it?
Well, I would like to reserve my comment, not because of him, but because of the respect I have for the national honors. I am not going to say anything about it. I don't want to say anything about it.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciate it so much.
It's always a pleasure for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Femi. Yeah.
All right. So to our fans around the world, we thank you very much for sharing part of your day with us on Nigeria Fans Forum again. We'll see you all on Monday. Bye for now.